Hello to whoever in the world is watching this right now. So I wanted to make a nice script for the beautiful scenery that I could experience in the US. It's all about nature and how it frees our mind. On my trip in the US, we traveled through beautiful mountains. It was in the White Mountain area near Canada. And mountains there are high, giant, and powerful, and everything is so green, everything is so vital and rich. You feel that the nature is alive, and nature has its own big whole life, and our little lives are part of that. There was water every second corner in the nature. There have been springs, cold like almost 0 degrees Celsius. Like, you could only force yourself to go in, but if you made it to go in and to go into the water and sit down and let your warm body be surrounded by all of this ice cold water, you're shocked in the first moment, but you feel reborn after that. You feel so free. You feel so young and untouched and new, like your life is starting again in this very moment. So I tried to do it as often as possible, and as I knew that my time here is limited, I made it almost every time to go into the springs. And the water was so different. Although all of them were springs, sometimes the water was totally clear and without any colors, and sometimes the water had a green touch, but a clear green color, like something very magical. And then there were stones that were surrounding the water, and they were so sharp, and I felt that they carry history from long ago. Going to the nature and having this view over the horizon, when you walk up a mountain and you just look from this mountain, look at the valley that you climbed up, it's a crazy feeling. It's a shift of perspective that made me humble and that made me clear in my mind, because we have so many thoughts that are irrelevant, so much stress in our everyday life, that this experience of nature makes me so calm and like I don't want anything, but not in a bad way, in a good way, that I feel I'm complete in this very moment. I don't need any bonuses, any add-ons. I don't need no material goods. I don't need any sugar to make me happy, because I'm a person that is usually very happy when I eat sugar. I live normally in the city, so nature is a completely different experience for me, a different way of life, maybe the original way of life, and that's why this good feeling feels somehow familiar, although I didn't grow up in nature. I just feel so alive. I took my shoes off so often and walked on the grass with my feet, and when you touch with your feet the grass or the ground, you feel so much. You have so many senses that are sent into your neuronal system, because on your feet there's so many receptors for structures and for temperature, and you feel the coldness of the ground, you feel the texture of the grass, and it makes you feel alive. And it makes me realize how artificial our life is in the city, where we wear shoes and we walk on asphalt and the ground is hard, like the life in the city. Everything is hard. Everything is not welcoming us like soft grass. When I was in the nature, I noticed how interesting ideas enter my mind, just out of nowhere. Because interesting ideas and creativity and new stories, new fantasies, they need an empty place to welcome them. Because if they come to a noisy place, like when we live in the city, these little interesting ideas, they don't get noticed and they're just scared to present themselves with all of the serious and relevant thoughts that circulate in our mind. But if we're calm, if we feel good and we feel safe, then creative ideas can come to us and can show themselves. And we can accept them and welcome them with patience and look what is going to happen. This experience changed me, but still I continue a very stressful life. I cannot say I'm relaxed. Not as much as I am when I'm in the nature and when I have so much space for out of my body and calmness and fresh air. And even though there are not many options in the nature, like regarding jobs or studies or even people, I don't have the feeling of missing out. Maybe I didn't spend enough time in nature to realize that. I don't know. These were my deep thoughts when making this trip, and maybe they inspired you, or maybe you recognized them. You recognized yourself in them. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.